Yes. So look, this woman needs no introduction. She is an icon, a legend, the moment. She is a force to be reckoned with. She also just happens to be a very dear friend of mine. The thing is this, and this is no shade. I work with a lot of people, and I like a lot of people, and I love all the people I work with. A lot of them ain't my real friends, though.
Ditto.
Okay, like there's certain people I would never reveal the names, but I can count on one hand how many people I really do consider like my friend. And Sheree Whitfield, yes, and Sheree Whitfield is that woman. So welcome, Sheree.
Let me tell you something. I am so proud of you. It is your motherfucking moment. It is your time. It is your time, Carlos. I'm so excited for you, and I'm really, really, really proud of you. I just want to make sure I get that out. Go ahead.
Sheree, don't make me cry.
It's your time. It's your time. It's your time.
Thank you, Sheree.
It's my time, too. It's my time, too. It's both of our time. It's both of our time.
Bitch, the time is right, honey. We're going to call ourselves...
Right.
Guess what? We are the Rolex king and queen because it's always time, baby. Be clear.
Be clear, baby. It's always
yes,
time.
honey. Come on, Rolex.
I ain't gonna let my watch upstairs.
That's okay. You know, I got my little gold one with the green face, but who's counting? Anyways, Sheree, we have so much to talk about. Y'all need to know the backstory of me and Sheree. So as you all know, I was a producer starting season 1 of Atlanta Housewives. I was an associate producer. So when you are an associate producer, you're assigned Housewives. So season 1, I was assigned NeNe and Deshaun Snow. And another producer had Sheree. And Sheree, I never told you this story. I would watch Sheree scenes and be like, this bitch is so fucking fabulous. She is everything. And I was like, I want to play with Sheree too. And your producer named Corey was like, no, bitch, she's mine.
I love it. And Corey and I are still friends to this day too.
Yes, still Corey friends. Is a sweetheart. He's a good guy. Corey was like, Carlos, you got NeNe and Deshaun Snow. I got Sheree. And I was like, I want a piece of that action. So then season 2, I was still there. Sorry, Corey. And then me and Sheree became
You are crazy. I never knew this story. I love it.
Me and Corey was fighting over Sheree. And I was just like, she's everything. I knew you were that girl the first week of filming at your birthday party.
Ooh. I got the party started, didn't I?
Oh, I mean, you're the reason for the season, mama. I mean, you're the reason why we got a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th episode. You are the reason. You are the reason. Because Sheree had a party and NeNe Leak's name was not on the list. And I never asked you this question. Sheree, it has been 14 years, and bitch, I need to know. Did you purposely leave NeNe's name off the list?
NeNe's name. Listen, it was my birthday party. NeNe and I had not been in a good space. We had been fighting before that. So we were good before, and it's so crazy that when we get ready to do the show, we kind of had a falling out because she got mad at me because I couldn't get her into a party. Well, bitch, I didn't get you into 1,000 parties, but I can't get you into this party. So she got mad at me. And so that was a falling out of us because we were good before that. So when the show starts, I'm feeling the tension, and because we had a meeting, and it got really bad between NeNe and I in this restaurant. We were at, Clubhouse at Lenox Mall. It got really bad. Like she and I almost got into an altercation at a restaurant. And I'm like, what the hell? So this is my birthday party. I called one of my girlfriends who was also a producer or whatever, and I'm telling her because they're wanting me to invite her into my home. And she's like, and I'm like, this is my home. I don't want no bad energy. I don't want no bad, none of that. So I'm like, what? I don't want to really invite her because we're not friends right now. We're not getting along. And she was like, well, shit, it's your home. I understand what you're saying. I wouldn't bring no bad energy in there either. So the guest list was what it was.
We got the exclusive!
That is the first time I have really, you know what? People don't really ask me that. They just talk about, that she wasn't on the list. But yeah, no, the people on the list were the people on the list. Those are the people who were supposed to get in. Don't let nobody in who is not on my list.
No, because this is the gag. That's the reason. First of all, that was an exclusive. 14 years, not one person has ever asked Sheree that question. And the reason why I have this podcast is because y'all can get the real tea from the real folks who I love and adore. I always suspected that, and this is the reason why I wanted to bring it up. Sheree is the reason episode 1 got started. And I always felt, not because we're friends, I always felt that people underestimate you and that you don't get the props you deserve for being part of the reason the Atlanta Housewives is successful. They love to give it to NeNe. And listen, NeNe's great, and she's an icon, and she's great, too.
She is.
They love to give it to Kim Zolciak, and Kim is great, too.
Yep.
Every once in a while, they'll say your name or not. It bothers me, real talk. Do you feel like you don't get enough credit for what Atlanta Housewives is today?
Absolutely. I totally feel that. I think that, people feel like you said, that it's the NeNes and the Kims, maybe because they're a little more loud about it. But, I mean, let's be clear. I have probably more iconic moments than a lot of them, probably put together. Should we name some? I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where people continuously, even say spring, summer, or joggers, or Who
I'll name them.
The party planner.
Who gonna check me, boo? My joggers is coming out spring, summer. Twirl on the motherfucking baseboards, bitch. I mean, yeah. I didn't pull her wig. I shifted it a little bit.
Yeah, just a little shift.
The bitch better get to running. I'm glad you fixed those doggy teeth. Yes, I'm glad you fixed those doggy teeth. Thank you. No, listen. I know that you are an icon, a wordsmith, and I do agree with you. Just because you're not like the loudest person in the room, baby, when Sheree walks into a room, a force is behind her.
Aw, you know what?
No.
Right.
No, I just, it always bothered me because I look at your legacy, and you are really responsible for a lot of great moments. And that's why when I left the show and you left the show, and they were like, Carlos, can you come back to season 8? And I was like, oh, I got all this other stuff going on. And then I was like, if I come back, me and Sheree got to do this again. Because I just felt like y'all just don't give this woman enough credit for what she's done. And you and I came back together at the same damn time. And baby, you and Kenya on that rooftop party at Cynthia, where you almost gave her a little cocktail dress, meaning the cocktail being spilled on the dress, honey. I mean, yes. I think you're such a big icon, but tell me about your legacy on the show and how you feel that, like you said, like you are truly one of the main reasons, and I'll go on record saying this, and I don't care who gets mad because this is no shade. NeNe, Kim, and Sheree are the reasons why Atlanta Housewives is the #1 show on Bravo.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Absolutely. We started this, and I mean, we didn't have a blueprint. We didn't know what we were getting into. But and a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have changed. But back then, we were authentic. We didn't know any better. We didn't know to make up shit. We didn't know that you didn't really have to, we're thinking this is our real lives. We signed up to do a reality show, and we're going to be as real as we can possibly be,
Yeah. And does it bother you? Does it bother you when people like Drew Sidora come on Housewives and doesn't give her authentic self?
Absolutely. It does bother me because that's not what the show was about. Is it about? You know what? Because when I'm not on the show, I don't watch the show. But everybody who have watched the show, of course, they come to me and they tell me different things. And a lot of the things that they were saying is that it's too much fighting. The girls aren't friends. It's not authentic. The girls are, they're producing themselves. Now you can produce yourself in a good way, but it's when it's so obvious to the fans that you're, pretending to bring in this person and this you're dating this, all these different things. It doesn't work, and people don't want to see that. It needs to get back to what it was, where it was authentic, where this is our real lives, completely transparent. And it's so funny when I hear people say, "Oh, she's been transparent." Bitch, I've always been transparent. I'm probably one of the few who've always been transparent. Let's be clear. I talked about stuff on this show that no one, even though they may be going through some things, don't want to talk about. And it's shit that's not so pretty, But I talked about it and I discussed it. And the one thing that I love that I'm able to that I do that is because I get so many emails or so many messages saying from people saying, I can relate to that. I was going through something similar. I'm talking about child support. I'm talking about divorce. I'm talking about dating someone in prison. I'm not the only one. So it's a lot of things that, I went through in my personal life that I was open with sharing real shit. And I feel like a lot of these girls, they kind of changed the narrative and it just didn't work. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. And it's funny because when you look at other Housewives show, a lot of it to me is when these new girls come on the Housewives, they're coming on the stage that you built. Mm-hmm. You're a construction worker. We'll call it the Chateau Atlanta. Exactly. And what's interesting is you haven't shied away from talking about your issues. Like you said, dating somebody in prison, dealing with divorce, dealing with what it's like when you get a divorce and you have to figure out okay, I have to step it up as a single mom. I have to really be the sole provider for my children. I remember working with you and there were other people on the cast who were not being real. And one thing I always appreciate about you is the fact that you were real. Because a lot of these girls, as you and I both know, they like to promote their businesses.
Yeah.
They like to throw an event to show how fabulous they are. But when you ask them well, we're hearing this is happening, that's off limits. We're not talking about that. That's off limits. So I want to thank you for inviting me to She by Sheree. You called me. I only will ever show up for you.
Oh, my gosh. Now you're trying to make me cry.
It's the truth.
Carlos, okay. You're going to make me cry now. Let me tell you, that meant so much to me for you to take time out of your schedule. I know you got so much going on. I know everybody's always pulling at you. Everybody wants Carlos King to come to show up. Carlos, you showed up in a big way when it mattered, and that's the most important thing ever. And that meant the world to me. And I need to tell you that if I haven't already. I love you. I appreciate that. You flew here. It was bitches here that I thought that should have been there. And I was really, really bothered by that. Because I don't want to say no names, but somebody who was there from season 1 as well, and they were there from the beginning. Like, I thought it was so important that the people that I really cared about that saw this from the beginning to be there and support me, because I supported all these bitches throughout these years. You know what I'm saying? So for me to finally get it, and I'm talking to this one particular person, and they're like, we're coming, you know, da-da-da, and did not show up. Have not called, have not said a word. And that was really hurtful. That was really, really hurtful.
How are you and Kim Zolciak right now?
We're good. I'll say it was actually Kim. You're right. And I really, really felt like, because I've been talking to her and she's like, oh my gosh, I know this is so important to you. Now, this is the thing. When I'm not on Housewives, I'm like you. I get invited to a lot of these events. And a lot of times, most times I don't go. But when it's something that matters, that, you know, I don't care, because, you know, these girls want to get paid. I showed up to Cynthia's wedding because it mattered. Those are the things that are important to me, that I know that are important to you. And it's bigger than, okay, what can I get for showing up? Because I feel like you're my friend. So I'm going to do this for my friend. And I felt like...
100%. You showed up to Candy's wedding without getting paid. Yeah. You show up to a lot of... Kim Zolciak had a spinoff, Don't Be Tardy. You showed up to her cosmetics launch without getting paid, because that shows real friendship. So it is disappointing to hear that Kim did not show up, because what you and I both know is this. When a housewife leaves a show, and let's say next year, the year after that, whatever, a real friend asks them to come to their event, 10 times out of 10, a housewife would try to negotiate money to come back, because she feels like, well, y'all going to use my appearance as promo. But the difference between you and that situation is, if someone's your real friend, you didn't care. Like, that's disappointing to hear.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. If anybody I thought would be there, I thought
especially because a lot of people have seen how you've had Kim's back throughout the years. So much so, a lot of people have said, oh, Sheree, you're on the wrong side of the team because you ride for Kim, because you two are friends and she rides for you too, or rode for you, pause. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a mutual friendship. But what do you say to people who feel like the reasons why you came and you left is because they felt like you were on the quote-unquote wrong team, and that team would be Kim?
That's even more disappointing. That, you know, if I'm supporting, I've always been supportive of the people that I really mess with. I've even supported those that I did not mess with. But for people to think that I was on the wrong team, first of all, I'm Team Sheree. I have people that I mess with, and that's the type of person that I am, though, because until I see that you've done me wrong or you've done things to me, I don't care what you did to other people. It's how you treat me, and that's what I go by. So me being friends with Kim and riding for Kim, that was my loyalty. That's how I am. I'm a Capricorn. I am loyal to the bone, you know? So it's kind of messed up, because people really did get mad at me for really messing with Kim and, you know, really having her back. But that's the kind of friend I would want for me as well. I would want them to do the same for me.
No, and that's the reason why you and I in real life are friends, because you are loyal. I'm like you. I'm loyal. You know me. I'm the type of person who's like, what's good? If you need me, I'm here. I don't ask for nothing. And I will go on record saying you operate in the same way. I had a birthday this year. Sheree flew to where I live and surprised me at my birthday dinner. I had no idea she was showing up. I'm literally in the back. You know me, I'm cool. I got my spaghetti and my meatballs, and I'm chilling. And Sheree walked in to surprise me, and when I say to you, I gag, like, you flew here to see me? She was like, yeah, bitch, you my boy. And that's who I want y'all to know Sheree is. She has the heart of gold. And what I always tell people is the nicest people on Housewives to me have always been the ones y'all consider to be the villain. It's Kenya and Sheree. And you can attest to this, like, Kenya's cool as shit. Like, Kenya is...
She is. I love Kenya. When Kenya's in a good space, she's fun. I love her.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, it's great. Speaking of love, I know that you love Greg Leakes, may he rest in peace, and that no matter what you ladies have gone through in the past, y'all do support each other. And I know that when he passed, obviously, you, myself, a lot of people reached out to NeNe to offer condolences. How is your relationship with her right now?
We don't really have a relationship, but we have a mutual respect for each other. When Greg passed, I mean, even before when he was sick, I think I reached out to her, and then when I heard he passed, of course, I was devastated that I could not make it to his service. I had COVID for the second time. I had literally just contracted it, and so of course I couldn't go. But yeah, Greg was an amazing man. He was a really good man, and I knew them for a very long time. So I reached out to NeNe, of course, and I've offered my condolences and anything I can do to help. But I have not seen her, but I see and hear that she's living her best life, and I'm happy for her.
No, she is, honey. One of the things a lot of people have been asking about is a show with just the OGs.
Oh, I think that would be.
So let me ask you this. If you had to choose between your current season 14 cast and doing a show with the OGs, which is you, NeNe, Kim, Deshaun Snow, and Lisa Wu, which cast would Sheree Whitfield like to be a part of?
Oh my gosh. I would say there's no comparison to season 1.
None.
You can't even compare. You can't even, that's like apples and damn watermelons or some shit. There's no comparison. That season 1 cast, I mean, we came in, we gave everything, and we didn't care how we looked or how how things came across. We just knew to be authentic and real.
Yes. No, those were the glory days to me.
Yeah, we had our ups and downs. Yeah.
I miss those days.
That was the best.
I miss those days. The reason why season 1 and the earlier season were so great is because you ladies did not have any apprehension in talking about or showing what was real. Like, it wasn't a choice. Mm-hmm. And that's coming from me with somebody. Right. We all started Atlanta Housewives the same day, not knowing what the hell we were doing. But what we knew to do was to be authentic and to be real. And for me as a producer, to make sure that you guys felt comfortable talking about stuff, especially because as Black women, it was a great opportunity to show that Black women can carry a housewife show. And for me as a Black producer, I wanted to make sure that these ladies need the best support they can. And that's what I was bringing to the table as a producer. Like, and you know me, as a producer, Sheree, let the girls know, I used to be like, what we doing? Should let them know, Sheree, Carlos played no games, baby.
No games. We did not play with Carlos King, honey. And
Carlos King did not play with us. That was the beauty. And what was funny is we were never like mad at each other. It was more so like, frustrated. Like,
this is your
do your job. Do your job. And the one thing that I loved about working with you ladies were y'all all respected me. And as mad as y'all used to be at me, because I would be like, we're going to sit at this motherfucking restaurant. I will pay extra to stay open unless y'all give me a good conversation. And y'all would be like, ugh, okay, fine. I'm going to say what I wanted to be saying for the past 2 weeks. Good. Go say it to her. Thank you. Goodbye. But at the end of the day, me and Sheree made a good team, honey. That's all I will say. I mean,
Yes,
me and
it is.
Sheree are a great team. Fantastic.
We are.
Well, thank you, Sheree, for being on my show, bitch.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. And thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, boo. I love you. Yes.
I love you too.